Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a summer affordable sweat-proof foundation routine. All affordable. But before we get started, I do quickly want to introduce myself. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Jessica, aka The Mexican Beauty. I make videos on all things beauty, lifestyle, and fashion. I would love for you to go hit that subscribe button down below. Also, while you're at it, don't forget to hit that notification bell because I'll make sure you never miss any of my videos. Also, please don't forget to follow me on my other platforms. On Instagram, The Mexican Beauty, TikTok, The Mexican Beauty. Once you do those things, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. So I already went ahead and did two very important things. The first one being applying moisturizer. So the moisturizer that I really enjoy when I want a very lightweight product before I go in with that sweat proof, everything proof makeup is the Verse Dew Point Moisturizing Gel Cream. I received this in PR and I have been really enjoying this. One of the reasons why I like this is because this consistency is a gel-like consistency. So it literally melts right into the skin. This works really well, especially if you do have oily skin, because you want things that are quickly gonna absorb into your skin and not lay on top like more thicker creams that tend to lay on top. I already applied it, that's what I'm showing you guys on the back of my hand. This also does contain aloe extract, which is great for sensitive skin, great with any type of inflammations or flare-ups. That's another reason why I really love it. And Verse is also sold at Target, so this is pretty affordable. This is a nice, affordable, clean brand at Target. So for sunscreen, there's two options. For this type of sweat-proof makeup routine, especially right now, it's like 90 degrees outside, so I'm like, give me all the good because this can't move. So the first one is this Bliss sunscreen. This is also sold at Ulta or Target, very affordable. This does contain 30 SPF. It is a mineral sunscreen, which means that there will be a little bit of a tint or a white cast. Now, I'm actually already wearing it and you guys can see, I feel like what I like about this is that it gives you like a tint almost. It kind of shears over the redness. The redness doesn't look as intense as it would if I wasn't wearing this sunscreen. So I really like that. It's also very comfortable on my skin. This does contain lavender and I've mentioned that in my morning skincare routine, but this hasn't affected my skin in any type of way. I feel like it works really well. It's so lightweight. And the biggest reason why I like to use this during my sweat-proof makeup routine is because I am a combination skin person, so I do get oil in the T-zone a lot, and I feel like this helps kind of absorb any oil that may be laying on top of the skin before you go in with makeup and really sucks it out and just gives you a really nice, almost soft matte finish. You guys can see that right now. Like, you guys can see how my face looks pretty nice and oil-free, and it's because I feel like this does a good job of doing that. I'm not the biggest fan of wearing a mineral sunscreen with makeup because I feel like sometimes it can interfere or be too heavy, but this one is one of the very, very few that I'm like, yes, give it to me. So the other sunscreen you can use, but I would recommend this more so for people that do have like normal to dry skin, underneath like a very sweat-proof makeup routine, is the Bondi Sands Daily Moisturizing Face SPF 50. This is incredible. You get no white cast. It melts right into your skin, and I've shown this in my review where I review this. It's amazing, especially if you do want that more moisturizing effect because you do get a little bit more radiance from within. You can use this. This also does have more SPF than the other one. Let me go ahead and show you guys this really quickly, because this one is more like, you guys can see, like it melts right in, but it does give you a little bit of some radiance. So that's just something to note. But both of these are excellent for that perfect summer sweat-proof makeup routine because you're protecting your face from the sun. Okay, so now that we've talked about our sunscreen and our moisturizer, we can move on to the complexion. So one quick tip that I'm gonna give you guys is definitely give your sunscreen and your moisturizer about 15 minutes before you go in and start applying makeup. So that's why I took some time off, like Nicki Minaj said. That TikTok is stuck in my head. But anyway, I took some time to just kind of like do something else, drink some water, check my phone, that type of stuff, before I go in with the complexion products, because of the fact that I want this stuff to really soak in. Sometimes when you go directly from sunscreen to primer and foundation, things can build up and just not work out well. So definitely give your face a little bit of time to really soak up that product and really let it sit there before you move on. So I'm actually doing this because I am going to be going outside later today to take some pictures, some outfit pictures, some OOTDs. So I want to make sure that this makeup is like stuck on the face and doesn't budge. So the first part we're gonna start off is our primer. This is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Stick It to Pores Mattifying Pore Primer. This stuff is actually really good. So what I like to do is I like to just apply it right in this area where I tend to have the enlarged pores, and I kind of drag it down because this is an area where I tend to get very, very dewy. And you guys can see how perfectly it's working with the Moisturizer Sunscreen because I let those two products sit on the skin for some time. I don't hear that many people talk about this stick primer by Hard Candy. It's really, really good. And I got this at Walmart because that's where I personally can find my Hard Candy products, but it's really good. So now for foundation, I have this one right here. And I also feel like this is another one that people don't really talk about as much as I feel like they should. This is the Profusion Cosmetics. This is the Feel Good Skin Longwear Skin Perfecting Foundation. So affordable. You can also find this at Walmart. This honestly reminds me a lot of my Huda Beauty foundation, the Faux Filter. Like, it literally looks stunning when you wear this. I have this in the shade Tan 1 Neutral. So I am gonna be applying this with a brush, and to each their own, but the reason why I'm using a brush instead of a sponge is because I'm gonna be outside taking these pictures and it's gonna be hot, 9 degrees, right? So I feel like when I apply things with a sponge, it's because I want them to melt in and become one with the sponge. And I also feel like sometimes with a sponge, you get more so of a natural appearance. I want this to look full coverage and stay on. And I feel like with a brush, it really gives you as much pigment as you want it to. So that's why I'm using a brush to apply this. This is a very creamy, pigmented foundation, let me just tell you. If you haven't checked out this foundation, you need to check it out. I feel like this foundation is the perfect on the budget dupe for the Huda Beauty Faux Filter because it really gives you the prettiest coverage. Now for brush, the one that I always recommend, you guys always ask me whenever I don't mention it, what brush are you using? This one by Morphe, the JH03 brush, is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so we're just going in. In case you guys can hear that noise, it's literally the cicadas. I don't know if there's cicadas where you guys live, but where I live here in Maryland, cicadas are everywhere right now. It's insane. The last time I saw cicada was when I was in elementary school. And mind you, that was like 15 years ago, right? Yeah, I think so. But that's the last time I saw cicada. So I didn't really remember it that well, but now I'm like, And the cicadas with the windshield, they literally hit your windshield and leave the ugliest marks all over. And I'm like, do I want to get a car wash or should I just wait? But I'm like, let me just wait a little bit because it's probably gonna rain and it'll get rid of the little like residue they leave like when they hit the windshield. I don't know, it's weird. But I just found out that it wasn't in every state. Like cicadas only are in certain states. I think it's like up north. I don't really consider Maryland north, but some people do. Some people consider the South too, but it's definitely not the South. I would say it's more northern state. But yeah, okay, this is the foundation and it gives you the prettiest coverage, looks really nice, matte, full coverage, but it still looks beautiful on the skin. And that's one of the reasons why I love this Profusion foundation is because it gives you such a beautiful finish. If you're looking for a good foundation to wear to an event this summer, like a summer wedding or something like that, or an outside event, like this is gonna be the one that's gonna get you through it. And this also, this shade in Tan 1 Neutral is gorgeous. Now, the one thing I will say is this Profusion foundation doesn't have that many shades, which I think they should definitely consider adding a lot more because I think that this foundation could literally be one of the best foundations. So something else that I will tell you guys is when applying the foundation, I know we can sometimes get carried away because we love how a foundation looks and it can look like so full coverage and glam. But one thing that I've learned is less is more. So going in with one pump on each side because I have a big face is good enough for me. I don't need to keep layering it on because I've noticed also when you layer it on, you can also sweat it off more faster. I've noticed when I have a thinner layer, the product just sits really nicely on the skin. And even if it is hot and I feel like I'm getting a little tiny bit of dew, it doesn't dissolve or it doesn't come off as fast as if I was wearing many layers of it. I feel like sometimes people can confuse many layers of foundation with, oh, it's gonna stick on better. No, I personally feel like if you're prepping your skin right, if you're applying the right amount of primer and moisturizer, I think everything can layer on really nicely. So now we're gonna talk about concealer. So I have two concealers I wanna talk about. If you're looking for the best affordable concealers, it's the e.l.f. The e.l.f. ones are never gonna play you. And I'm gonna talk about these two. So the first one is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This one is absolutely one of my favorite. I will always use this because it is so good. I honestly think this is the best concealer out there out of like high-end and drugstore. This is one of my favorite ones. But the hydrating one, because the original one I feel like is a little too matte and drying and dries super fast. I feel like they were trying to like really do the Tarte thing a lot with that original one. This one I feel like was just perfection. Like it just really works for all different types of under eyes, especially if you want that full coverage under eye, it's like on there. We're not gonna be using this one today, but this, if you're looking for super full coverage concealer that will not betray you for $6, I mean, e.l.f. will never fail you. So I'm gonna be using this one. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. This is really good. And you guys know how often I preach, like, when you do a full coverage foundation, you wanna do a more lightweight concealer, because if you do full coverage foundation and full coverage concealer, it can go wrong. It can go south super quick. And I feel like sometimes like, it's like you have two of the same, like they're gonna repel. You know, they're not gonna work well together. So I like to do something a little bit more lightweight. Also, if you're not the biggest fan of the e.l.f. concealer, this one, and you've tried and you're like, I don't like it, you want something more lightweight, natural, this is definitely gonna give it to you. So I'm gonna be quite frank with you guys. I know right now that trend of like doing a little bit right here and then one right there is super in. But if you're looking for something to be sweat proof and really stay on during these summer 90-degree humid weather months or 100-degree, you're gonna wanna really go into your concealer. Now, to each their own with the concealer application. I know everybody has different opinions of it, but I personally feel like this method, when I really want my concealer to be on, is the best method. Another tip that I do recommend is kind of let it just sit on your skin for a minute. Just let it kind of get to know the foundation, you know what I'm saying? So that it can be like, okay, this is what I'm working with. For application, I like to use my sponge. I'm using the Araceli Bella sponge, but I'm not using it too damp. It's like the right amount of like in the middle. So we're gonna begin just blending this out. And I'm just taking this all throughout my under eye. You guys can see how beautifully it blends out with the foundation. And then we're gonna take the classic Airspun powder, very affordable. You can find it at Walmart. And we're gonna begin just setting that, but we're only gonna set, oh, I think I'm too close. We're only gonna set where I crease. So we're only setting right here. Okay, and then for our brush, you guys always ask me about this brush, and I've mentioned I literally don't know because it's faded, but this is a Morphe brush, and it's just basically one of these. I've actually tried looking for this brush, and I don't think they sell it anymore, which is so weird. But to be honest, I'm not surprised because I did purchase this, I wanna say back in 2015 when I went to the original Morphe store, not the Morphe store that they have now, like the OG one. Have you guys ever been to it? It was literally like in the smallest little shopping center, like on a corner. And it was an experience. But I got it from there, and I mean, I've had this for years and I love it for this because it does a really good job of just dusting away the powder on the under eye, or if I want to set. So I would recommend getting this type of brush to really go in. I'll try to find a dupe or something similar to this on Morphe's website again and see if I can find it, and I'll list it down below. And now we can move on to blush. So for blush, we're gonna do things a little tiny bit differently than what I would say, you know, with anything else. So for blush, I would also say that if you're somebody that has oily skin, I wouldn't just rely on cream blushes. Now, I know cream blushes are so in right now, that like super natural situation, and I love that, trust me. If you're going for a sweat-proof makeup look, you're looking for this stuff to last on your face. So what I would recommend doing is, you don't have to cut out the cream blush. If you prefer cream blush, that's totally fine. I'm about to show you because I'm about to use cream blush actually. And then we're gonna set it with our powder blush so that it can really stay on and in place. So we're gonna go in with the e.l.f. Putty Blush. This is one of my favorites. This one is in the shade, I wanna say Bora Bora. And I'm going in with this brush that I love using for cream blushes. I would highly recommend you check it out. It's the e.l.f. Putty Primer Applicator. I know it's a putty primer applicator, but just trust me, it's perfect. It's very affordable. And this one right here, what I love about it is that it's so small and precise, so it really gets in there. But I was like, you know what? I figured if this is for the primer, the putty primer, it'll work for the putty blush, right? Right. So let's just go ahead and apply that. And I just like to apply it all over. And I like to take it a little bit higher because I definitely want my face to have like that lifted effect as opposed to applying it down below where it'll sag it down. I also feel like blush in general tends to fade easily, not even on like a sweaty hot day, but like in general, like with blush, you have to make sure that you really apply a little bit more than you typically would, especially if you want it to last, because that's like the first part of your makeup to fade. And now we're gonna be going in with our blush. I'm just gonna take my blush brush and I'm gonna be using the blush by Jaclyn Cosmetics in Sun-Kissed. So like I said, go in first with your cream blush if you want to do that, and then go in and just set it and lock it down with a powder blush. Trust me, it'll last and it'll look phenomenal for the entire day. Now, if you're not a cream blush person, then don't do the cream blush, skip on it and just do the powder blush. But I don't know, I just feel like those two together really mix well and just lock it in for you. So definitely recommend doing that. Okay, so now that we've applied our blush, we can go ahead and do the next step, which is just basically setting this face with our powder. So I'm gonna be using here the Milani powder. This one I've been really enjoying. It's actually a really nice powder, especially if you're somebody that wants to prevent like the shine. This is really good to also take on the go. So this is the Milani Shine Proof Powder, and I picked this up in the shade Beige. And I'm gonna be taking that same brush that I used on the under eyes, and I'm gonna just be using this on the sections where I tend to get dewy quickly. So I'm gonna do the forehead, like this middle of the forehead, and we're gonna do here. These areas are like super shiny if I don't pay attention to them. This is a very, very lightweight powder, which is why I always recommend it, because it really does prevent that shine without looking like you have like a cake face or anything like too intense. And then bam. So like I mentioned, this was in the shade Beige. This is the Shine Proof Powder. I feel like this is a very effortless, weightless, like locks everything in type of powder. Definitely take this on the go with you. Okay, so that's pretty much all that we do on the face. The last step we definitely want to do is go in with a really good setting spray. Okay, so for setting spray, I'm gonna recommend you guys this right here, the Milani Make It Last setting spray with 30 SPF is perfect because you can continuously reapply this so that it locks in your foundation, but also reapply it so that you're consistently getting that added SPF through the day. So this one does contain 2.02 ounces and it's good to go. Like this is the second one that I purchased because I continuously go through these. So this is pretty much it. And you know what I love about this routine? It's not sticky. So my makeup is literally staying in place. Please try this. Let me know how it works for you guys. These products are literally the truth. I'm gonna list everything down below in my description for you guys. They're all affordable products, which is another big plus because none of these will break the bank. And if sometimes you just need one or two of them, that's great. You know, you don't need to buy the whole pack. But I'm telling you guys, this routine has got you covered. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video where I show you guys how I create this affordable, summer-friendly, makeup sweat-proof routine. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know what other types of videos like this you would love to see on my channel. I love taking suggestions because that definitely helps me out. Lets me know what you guys would like to see on my channel. So without further ado, don't forget to stay safe, stay blessed, and stay beautiful. And I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye, guys.